the start. I see you in my grandchild's eyes, and now my child is deployed and not by my side. I'm so nervous, I started to quilt. Freedom is earned, that's how this country was built. Gathered my fabric, dotting and thread, just thinking of you, it's all in my head. Thanks to our military, thank you for our brave. Thanks for all that you do, keeping us safe. They are not alone, they have families to love our troops. This quilt is dedicated to you. Nights are long and we're a world apart, making this quilt with you in my heart. Tears in my stitches, adjusting its length. Pray every day to keep you safe, with courage and strength. Thanks to our military, thank you for our brave. Thanks for all that you do, keeping us safe. They are not alone, they have families to love our troops. This quilt is dedicated to you.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, Gifted Crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there. Today is Tuesday, and it is a wonderful day. Happy Veterans Day. I hope you guys enjoyed that little intro. Alrighty, let's see who we have out there. Oh boy, from Central Illinois, 30 degrees. Barb Chumley, good morning to you. Faker McFake, good morning to you. We've got Julie Hall from California. Good morning. Sue Galvin, good morning to you. And Cindy Ball, good morning. Yeah, I'm tuning in from Miami, Florida. So today's actually a little bit chilly. It's 50 degrees outside. For us, that's really cold, and that's really a nice change in weather. I really love that. Let's see who else we have out there. We've got Barbara from Ohio. Good morning. Let's see, Becky from North Central Texas. We've got Georgette. She's saying Happy Veterans Day. We've got Deborah Bio. Good morning. Let's see. Oh wow, she's got a 21 years. And it's 26 degrees there, and her father was in the Air Force for 21 years, and her oldest son's in the Air Force for 23 years. That's amazing. Wow. congrats there, Barbara. You've raised a very nice family. All right. Good morning, Boricua Sewing and Crafts. That's my sister. Happy Veterans Day. Yay. And Leslie B, we've got Jaws Mom. Good morning and happy Veterans Day to you as well. And we've got JBL from Alabama. We've got Melissa Hutchins from East Texas. Lisa Lilly, good morning. We've got Nancy from Boston. We've got Jenny Owens, and good morning. Good morning, guys. So if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and we host these daily sessions to just talk about crafting and maybe do a little demo, little project, share some tips. So if you got that little craft fair coming up, or maybe you have a little Etsy shop, you can definitely say you're in the right place because we'll share all kinds of tips with you. Oh, good morning, my friends from Canada. Hello, how are you? Nice little nippy morning today. I see a few people sharing how cold it is. 27 degrees in Ohio, Barbara. Oh boy. Yeah, it's coat weather for the people in Virginia. Oh, your son's in the Air Force. He loves it. Awesome, Faker McFake. That's awesome. We've got Ice Queen, U.S. Army MP veteran here. Awesome. Good morning and happy Veterans Day. All righty. So guys, it is really amazing for you guys to be here with me. I really appreciate all of your support on the channel. We've been going through a little bit of a rough patch with Mr. H being out. So a lot of things kind of had to change a little bit because I wasn't able to really do a lot of the things that I wanted because they require me to use a little laptop and he needs it to be able to remote in. He is getting much better, was able to do some walking around and actually came into the craft room for a little bit yesterday, which was pretty cool. But, you know, he doesn't want to push it too much. It's a really slow healing process, but he is getting better. So thank you guys all for your well wishes and all of your support on that. And thank you to all of the veterans. Matter of fact, why don't we all just go right ahead and go to our toast? Because we want to give a nice little toast to our veterans and thank them all for their service. So go ahead and grab yourself a cup of whatever it is you have in the morning, coffee, tea, soda, water, it doesn't matter. There's no judgments here. If you don't have a cup, no worries. I'll pour you a cup. And I think by the looks of the chat, it looks like it's pretty cold out there. 25 degrees in North Carolina. Oh boy. Let's go ahead and get yourself something nice and hot. So I'll pour you a cup. There's a nice hot cup of coffee, or maybe you want some tea. It doesn't matter. Just something nice and warm to keep you nice and warm and get you in your craft room. Because that's where the toastiest place that you'll be is in your craft room as you're making things for others. Alrighty, go ahead and raise those glasses nice and high to all the veterans out there. Thank you for your service, and to everyone else that's out there, please go ahead and have a fantastic day and stay warm and go ahead and get into your craft room and do something fun. So go ahead and grab your little swivel here. Ah, that feels great in the morning. Now, I do have to start my day off with my ice water, which I know for you guys are kind of like, no way, it's too cold. But I will I feel kind of like some tea. I think I'll have some apple cider tea today. And I think it's waiting for me in the kitchen once the show's over. I'm going to grab some tea before heading off to do some more work. Okay. Yeah, Melissa, 31 in East Texas. Oh, gosh. Boy, coffee, coffee, coffee. Okay, yes, we have the coffee. It's all set and ready to go. You can have as many creams and sugars as you like. All right, so we've got our drinks. Let's go ahead and grab some snacks, shall we? I think you guys are a little bit hungry. Let's go ahead and roll out the food truck because I think, you know, we got it actually serviced. We, you know, gave it a nice, you know, car wash type of thing. So nice and clean and ready to go, and you guys can go ahead and pick out your snacks. I know it's nice and cold out there, so go ahead and grab some warm stuff. We've got some warm breakfasts, you know, like eggs and bacons and ham, and we've got some omelets out there and pancakes. So go ahead and, you know, stay warm with the food. The warm drone is going to be on its way over to you to bring you some nice hot stuff. So go ahead and pick out anything you want. It's all free, all calorie free, and all virtual. So just lots of fun. Oh yeah, blueberry bagel for Baker McBake. Yeah, but you know, I want something warm. I think I'll have a omelet. Yeah, why not, right? Red, white, and blue popsicles. Oh boy. Awesome, Cindy. Okay, so we've got our snacks, we've got our drinks, and I hope you're in your cozy spot, or at least a place, really safe place to watch. So let's go ahead and get started. We have a couple things to kind of call out with you today. I did manage to kind of get out of the house for a few minutes, and I kind of went into the dollar store and I picked up something that I thought was pretty cool. I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought, you know, this would be really nice for low budget, and yeah, works great. So I picked this up at the dollar store. It's a mesh zipper bag. And it's perfect. Perfect. It's got a zipper here. It's perfect to just store things like fabric scraps. You know, I'm trying to kind of organize my fabric scraps. I've got them all in a bin, and I want to kind of color coordinate them into different ones, because when you're doing like applique projects, you know, and you need something red or something yellow or something green, it's great to have them all in one place. And sometimes you've got stuff left over that you've put some heat and bond on it. So you may want to color coordinate your scraps, color coordinate them, and put them into these little pouches here. And these are perfect, very low cost. And it has a nice little zipper on the top. They came in different colors, so I tried to grab different colors. They've got this little blue, they've got the zipper that's green, they have black, but they're a really nice size just to store little scraps or little projects as well. Yeah, perfect project bag as well, yeah. And I know, you know, people out there are on a budget and, you know, looking for ways to save, and these are perfect for, you know, just storing your items, putting projects in. Yeah, you use those to keep your projects in. Yeah, I thought these were really cool. And I like the size. It's perfect for scraps and projects and whatnot. So I thought, you know, I should let you guys know that they're out there. And they come in different colored zippers on the top. So that's pretty cool. So I grabbed just a couple here. Actually, here's another one here. I grabbed them all because I want to organize my fabric scraps, and I want to color coordinate them, specifically for the applique projects that I make. Because, you know, sometimes I'm just scrounging around for a tiny, tiny piece that I need of a blue or a red or something. And I hate to have to cut a perfectly good piece of fabric that's sitting on a bolt. Just to get a tiny, tiny piece, right? Isn't that kind of annoying? So I want to be able to kind of just put the scraps in here. That way, if I have them color coordinated, I can just grab it, and then I can go ahead and just see what I have in here that'll work for that applique project. And there'll be all kinds of different sizes and different, like, let's say this will be red. You know, there's all kinds of different tones of red, some dark reds, light reds. I'll just put red and it'll all be in here. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that and just store them rather than keep them all in the bin, because I find myself kind of digging in through the bin and just trying to find the color that I need. So what my new system is going to be now for fabric scraps, I will initially put them in the bin because I just don't have time to properly organize them when I'm in the middle of a project. And then, you know, on a day when I start to do some organizing, I take out what's in the bin and I put them in the little pouches here. So that's what I'm going to do. That's just going to be my little way of organizing myself just a little bit. And I thought it'd be good to kind of share that with you guys. So just wanted to let you know that. Okay, another update that I have for you is on the giving tree. I went ahead and basted first I finished embroidering the saying on the top, and then I also went ahead and basted my quilt top to the backing, and this is the backing that I'm going to be using. So pretty decent, pretty little fabric here. I like that it kind of coordinates with all the green in the front and has a nice little different tones of green that coordinate with them. Oh, you've been using those for a while. You've got mine from Amazon. They work. Oh, awesome. awesome. Yeah, those pouches are really great. I really love the size, you know, and the cost. You can't beat that, you know. Is it $1? I think it's $1.50 now. It's now $1.25, but it's still a great deal. And I, you know, to help me organize, I have a very small space, so helping me organize is really going to be helpful. So definitely, I like that. So I went ahead and used this backing fabric, and I basted it with the cotton batting here. And if I can kind of turn it, you can see it. I don't want to unravel the whole thing, but I will try to let you guys see here. It does say Happy Holidays. And well, let me just undo it. Hold on. Let me pull this over to the end. So I just added the embroidery, Happy Holidays. And you can see it came out pretty good. I like that. And what my plan is, I do not want to quilt the tree or the star itself. What I want to do is to just do some quilting on the white space. And what I should have done was quilt it first and then embroider it. But I wasn't sure that I even was going to quilt it, but then now I decided I'm just going to quilt it. So I'm just going to work around here, around the little lettering, but everywhere else I'm going to go ahead and quilt it. And on the tree itself, I'm going to use some embellishments. On the tree itself, I will use just little things that I have, little knickknacks that you can attach onto a tree, little bells, little ribbons, and put them on kind of sporadically all around the tree. And so I'll just end up doing that. And I thought that would make it really nice. So that will finish this up, and, you know, we'll have this ready to go. For the binding, I'm just going to use the same background fabric that I have, and I will just bind it so it would look something like that, right? So I think that's going to work because I like how the background fabric blends in all the different colors, and so it kind of ties it all together, which I really like. But very, very nice. I like how this came out, and I was happy with it. Maybe add some embroidered snowflakes in metallic thread instead of quilting. Yeah, I could do that too. That would be a great idea. Just kind of put little snowflakes all around on the white space. Yeah, you know, I kind of like that. I may take a look at what designs I have in my stash and maybe use some metallic thread. Yeah, that would be good. Lady at Smart Needles showed us she uses a notebook with sleeves for each color to keep her extra applique fabric in. Both are great ideas. Oh, yeah, I guess that would be good too, a notebook with sleeves. But the problem with the notebook is eventually it's just going to get so big and it's kind of awkward to kind of put away. Where the pouches, I can separate them by color, and I can, you know, I don't know. I think the pouches will work a little better for me, but that's a great idea too. If you don't have too many, I think that, you know, the notebook may not be too bad. So, speaking of Smart Needle, I'm going to show you something that I did last night. Let me try to fold this back again, and I will refold it again because I actually want to try to quilt this today if I can. We'll see what I can get done once I'm done working. But I will try to get this in. You love the Happy Holidays font. Yes, that's a Maya font. It's a Maya font, so it's a really nice font, definitely. Okay, so what we want to talk about today, it is a Smart Needle project that I attempted to do last night. Now, I did have to email her to let her know that there was an issue with the file. So it was a little disappointing, but it's not a huge issue. If you have embrilliance, you can fix it very easy. It's not a big deal. I'm not sure what happened, but you know, businesses, they're swamped at this point. You know, businesses are swamped. You've got Christmas coming up, Thanksgiving, all the holidays, they're getting really busy. So, and the fact that I use a 5x7 hoop to do this project, it was kind of like she probably just didn't test or didn't look at the file before they launched it. Maybe she looked at all the other sizes, but somehow they skipped the 5x7 hoop. Or maybe the other sizes have the same issue. I don't know. But I went ahead and I emailed her and let her know. But I was able to kind of fix it, but it was kind of already too late. This was my little test file, and we can do this project together. But what this is, let me just grab my my little papers here so I can show you exactly. And it's underneath a whole bunch of other stuff, so pardons. Okay, so it's called the North Pole Post, and I'll put it down here on the desk cam so you guys could see it. And this is basically a little envelope that you can make for the kiddos, you know, because they need to send their letters over to Santa, right? So they include a PDF of a nice little design of a letter that you can use and have the kids use that for their little letters to Santa. And then they would put it in this little envelope. Now, this is a 5x7 hoop design, so it's super tiny. If you have, and this is one of those hoop envy type of things, right? If you have that bigger hoop, it would be so much nicer when it comes out, because it's going to be a lot bigger and you're able to kind of put this in. Although the paper size, the width is a bit bigger, so you do have to just kind of fold it up, but it's no big deal. But I thought that it was a super cute idea of having that in place. The design itself was pretty nice, but again, I did have some issues with the file, and I'll share with you what I found. As I was stitching out the file, this is the actual template that I printed out. Okay, and on the template itself, you can see, let me bring this up to you so you can get a good picture of it. So you can see the little circle thing here. Now it is upside down because you have to turn that in the end. So it does end up being right side up. So I'm going to turn it around for you. But just focus on this stamp right here. It says Air Express Mail. Well, when I printed it out and was embroidering it, the only thing that it said was Express Mail. It didn't do the air word, which I thought was quite odd. But I just went ahead and I said, let me just follow the directions anyway. And what I should have done was checked in Brilliance before I went ahead and tested this out. Like, I was just testing it out to test it out so that I can do the project with you guys, because I know I'm going to have to make multiple of these. But as I did it, I did come upon that mistake where the word air does not appear. And then later on towards the very end of the project, and I'll flip this back around here, at the end of the project it will close up the entire thing, and it's supposed to leave a little opening so that you can flip it right side out, right? But what ended up happening was the very last step of the design was it embroidering the word air. And so it cinched all the fabrics together. And then actually that was the next to last step. And then the very last step was when it was closing this all up and it's supposed to leave that opening. It didn't leave an opening, and it cinched the entire thing shut. So there was no way for me to flip it, which I thought was really, really odd. But I went ahead and once I saw what it did, I threw me off. But luckily I have Embrilliance. So what I was able to do was just go into Embrilliance and just move the position of the step. So the position of the word air, I just moved it up where it was stitching out the express mail part. I just moved that position up to that step when it was doing that. And then where the very last step where it is supposed to leave that opening, I edited the design and I deleted a few nodes so that it would stop. Another way of doing that is just adding a stop when you're running the simulator and changing the color of the thread. And then you can just not stitch that part out, or you could just delete it out, whichever you want to do. And then I was able to resave it. So I know I'll be good to go when I run it the second time. The other item that one thing that I struggled with is in the instructions, it tells you to use 2 layers of batting. But since this is such a small hoop size, this is a 5x7 hoop size, I think 1 layer of batting would have been just fine because it's just too small to be able to turn inside out. So that's the other thing you have to kind of look out for when you see these designs, because sometimes, you know, the directions they go very well for someone with a larger hoop. But for me to turn this inside out with 2 layers of batting plus the topping and the backing, you know, plus the stabilizer, it's a lot in there. Now, I love her designs. I think they're super cute. And she's got a new one, a little cube that comes out. And I thought that was adorable too. But I just, you know, for the 5x7 size, you know, it just didn't work out. And there were some issues. So I did email her. I'm hoping that I get a response. And that she's just to make her aware. I wouldn't want her other customers to kind of, you know, see that. But I do like it. It does have like a little bit of a run stitch here that allows you to give you that little perforation so you can fold it. So as you can see here, it'll fold here, and then up on the top it folds here. And so you're left with this really cute envelope, and you're supposed to just kind of sew this together. Okay, now all this blue stuff was because I had to unstitch all of this stuff to be able to create an opening so I can flip it. So this actually will not be there. But the other thing you will have to do is you're going to still need to go in and stitch your sides together, right? And this is really bulky to have to stitch out, and some people may not be, you know, their sewing machines may not be able to handle that. So you probably will have to hand sew this piece right here. So that's just the little things that I found on this particular file, but I do love the design and I think it's great. The next step that she talks about is embellishments that you can do on here. But, you know, can you imagine? I mean, just look how thick this is right here. This is with double batting. Can you imagine? Like, this is just way too thick for this small of a project. Now, if with this double batting on here, that's just way too much. If I would have used just 1 layer of batting, I think it would have been a little bit better. But the instructions are there. And remember, instructions are there, but, you know, I would take them as a guide, not hardcore instructions, because sometimes these projects are made with the bigger hoops in mind, and unfortunately with smaller hoops they don't work out so well. So you do kind of have to, you know, do your little test like we did here. Look at it in Brilliance, right? I ended up having to do some edits for that, but other than that, I think it turned out really cute. I think it's adorable. It's a nice project, a fun thing to do, to have your kids go ahead and make their letters and put them in the little envelopes. And so I thought these were really cute to give out to some friends who are parents, and they have their kids write their letters to Santa. So wouldn't it be cute to tell them to go ahead and put it in the Santa envelope? I think that's really great. Cindy's asking, how about SF 101 and no batting? That could work, yeah. The thing is, it's quilted. The part over here on the front, it's all quilted. There's a little quilting design. I'm not sure if you guys could see the quilting here. And so it does do a little bit of quilting on here. So I don't think SF 101 would really allow the quilting to show. So I think you do need at least 1 layer of the batting just because of that quilting. But 2 layers on a 5x7 hoop, I wouldn't do that. So I did have to make some adjustments to this, and luckily, you know, I have Embrilliance and I can do that, but I did send her an email to let her know, because there's not everybody has Embrilliance, right, or able to do that, or not sure how to do it. So I did send her an email to let her know about that, and I'm hoping to get some corrections here. But other than that, it was a really cool project, and I had a lot of fun making it. And one of the things that she does talk about is the embellishments on here. And I just kind of want to touch upon the embellishments that she did for this project, just adding some stamps. And I thought, oh my God, that is such a cute idea. And so, of course, my head was exploding with ideas. You know, yeah, maybe fusible fleece. That's a possibility. Yes, definitely. That's something that you can do to kind of give it a little bit of that, you know, so you can have a little bit of that structure on the outside when you quilt it, right? Did you actually mail this envelope? No. But it's so cute. I mean, I'm sure that the bigger hoops has those bigger sizes, so it actually looks something a little bit better, but I don't think this has the right regulations. There's certain rules and things that have to be done, like when postcards are made, the embroidered postcards, there's certain rules that have to be followed for them to actually be put in the mail. But once you go through those rules, if you apply those to your designs, then you certainly can, because there are fabric postcards that go out as well. So yeah, it's something to think about, but you know, yeah. Yeah, you watched the video to make them. I thought that the double batting was a little much, so I decided to just use one piece. Yeah, Jackie. Definitely, especially with the smaller hoops. Now, I'm not sure on the bigger hoop sizes. I still would want to say that one layer of batting is enough. But it is a bigger hoop, so you have a little bit more space to turn that over. This was extremely difficult to kind of flip over, and because it had shut mine completely closed, and I had to kind of reopen on the sides a little bit. When I was flipping it over, the stitches were popping as well. So it was just like, oh, this is not good. Yeah, you love her design, Sue? Yeah, they are very cute. They are. So I'm sure it's just a little mistake. I'm sure she's going to correct it. And, you know, I sent her an email, so hopefully I hear back from her. So, but if you have Embrilliance, it's a super easy fix to do. So it's really not that difficult at all to fix it. So, you know, just one thing, you know, this is the busy season, so just check those designs that you get out there. I know that, you know, the bigger companies, they have like a whole department just testing designs on all different machines with all different size hoops. So if you can imagine, you do one design and you're doing it for multiple machines, so you've got to test them out all, right? Then you've got multiple hoop sizes, and you got to test those out too, on top of making the design and, you know, the marketing and all of that stuff. It's just crazy. It's so much to do for just the one design. So, you know, we appreciate them coming up with these designs because they're amazing, because we get to stitch them out and have fun with them, right? But there are some mistakes on here, so I just wanted to let you know about that, because they are some really pretty designs. But I would definitely buy this again. Yes, I would. Like I said, there were really simple, easy mistakes. It's just, you know, it's human, guys. We're human, right? So I just wanted to let you guys know of this design that's out there, because I thought it was super cute. And for guys who have those larger hoops, oh my God, this is just an adorable project to do. And she's got so much more. Okay, so let's take a look at the embellishment piece of it, because I wanted to kind of bring that out. Of course, you're going to need some pinking shears. Definitely need some of those. And I've got some fabrics here, and I've got like a whole bunch of scraps and whatnot. Got like a whole pile on the sides, and I can give you some more ideas on that, because she on her little video of the instructions, she talks about, you know, making the stamps and whatnot, but there's so many other things you can do as well. Pinking shears, of course, you're going to need them so you can come up with the cute little edges, like something like this. this is what I have set up. It's got some heat and bond light on the back here, and you just cut it out, use your scraps, right? That's why it's a great reason to kind of have your scraps all put together. So, and we'll have this as kind of like our background, and then you'll kind of go into, and I've got several different fabrics, right? So we've got our little candy cane stripe. Those are always nice to have, right? But we also have a couple of other fabrics that would be really cute. And I've picked this up from Hobby Lobby. And so here's a fabric that's got like tons and tons of little tiny designs on here. And I think this is the perfect fabric to use for some kind of embellishment, right? And so this one is very, very busy, has all kinds of things, and you can kind of cut these up and use them as little stamps as well. So you could use something like that. Now, if you want to go ahead and use something that's a little bit more like Grinchmas, right? Then you can go ahead and get the Grinch fabric, and that one has tons and tons. See, each one of these little boxes can be cut out for a little stamp, and you can make them a little bit bigger, but it doesn't have to be just for envelopes. You can use these to design things all over the place. So anything Christmassy that you have, if you want to add a little bit of embellishment with, you can go ahead and look at your fabric staffs and see what type of a cut you can make on there. You've made an apron with this fabric. Oh, Prep the Eternity Homestead. I love that. Yeah, these are really cool fabrics. I love all of the different designs that they have on here. And so they're fun to have, and I think it's really nice and great that I can use these for different types of embellishments instead of just the fabric itself, right? So that's what I have here. The rest, I mean, other things that you can use, I've got this little pretty candy cane. You can cut out some candy canes as well. And you want to kind of use different colors too. And then you're going to need some background fabric. Of course, you can use your white on white fabric. We've got tons of that, right? There's all kinds of different ones. This one has like little holly leaves on it. And then we've got the ones with the polka dots. So there's all kinds of different white on white fabrics that you can pick, or you can pick something a little bit fun with some fun polka dots on here, right? Or you can, if you don't want to go with the white and you want to do something else, then you can also go with something like this. So there's all kinds of different fabrics that you can pick to make these embellishments. I've cut out a couple, and then I added some heat and bond light on the back. And so on here, let me just kind of spread them out. All I did was just simply cut them. I didn't cut them with these pinking shears yet. All I did was just cut them out so I could put heat and bond on them. And so I have them kind of all spread out a little bit here. Yeah, your fabrics are beautiful. I need to go shopping. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fun fabrics out there, and you can pick these up at Hobby Lobby. And since these are just embellishments, you know, I'm not worried about the quality so much because they're just going to be used for little pieces. So I'm totally fine with that. And so if you go ahead and you pick out these little pieces, little designs from your fabric, and then you go ahead and you cut them up and put some heat and bond on it, just go ahead and pick out a background fabric, something like this, let's say, and I'll just pick this one. I've already cut this one with the pinking shears, so my edges have that stamp look on the back, but it's kind of plain, right? So I want to add something to it. So I'm going to take this heat and bond light paper off here. If I can get it off. Okay, and of course you've got that shiny side because the heat and bond is on it. Let me move over to the desk cam. You guys can see it a little bit better. So there's the background fabric. I think that looks better for you guys to see. And so here's our fabric. We've got a little heart. And then on the back, it has the heat and bond on already applied. And then all I'm going to do is use my pinking shears and then put it on my background fabric there. So let me just grab my pinking shears, and I'm just going to go right around the edges, or you can do it as a circle. Can basically make it your own. It doesn't really matter. You do it any way that you want. And you can make all kinds of these and use them from all kinds of projects. Here we go. And I'll add that to my background fabric. And doesn't that look so cute? I just need to get my heat and bond on here and apply it. And I've got myself a little stamp. I mean, really cute. And they've got some, if you don't want to use a background fabric and you've got something like, let's say the Grinch, right? You can go ahead and you can use your pinking shears and just do the edges of that. Really, really cute. And you can add these to all kinds of your Christmas projects. You can add them to anything and it will look so adorable. And let's see, I'm going to add this one. Oops. Cut that one a little bit odd, but that's okay. Here's another one. Wouldn't that look cute? I mean, you can add these. Imagine if you have these, you can put a little pouch or something, right? And you can add a little stamp, maybe put somebody's name right underneath his eyes, like he's watching you, right? Things like that. Really, really cute designs that you can make and just add them. So check through your fabric stash and see what you can find out, because there's so many different ones that you can do. You can also make things that come out to be like little circles. Like they don't have to all be little squares. You can also do little circles as well, little ovals. I mean, it's just so up to you how you want to do it and what you want to put in here. And they have, if you don't want to use the pinking shears because maybe you have issues with your hands and it's difficult to cut, you can also pick up a rotary blade that has these pink edges, and so you'll be able to cut like that, you know. And so when you cut your fabric, it's a regular rotary cutter just like you have any other one, and all you would do is change out the blade here, and the blade will have a little corrugated cut to it, and so you would just cut it like a regular blade and it will have that little effect on here. So it's pretty cool. So, you know, what would you guys do? Let me know in the comments if you're watching the replay as well. Let me know what kind of designs you would do with these little cutouts. I mean, I think they're so adorable. Now, again, this is one that you can do with just fabric, but you can also make embellishments that are not with fabric. And I'm going to show you a couple here. So like I said, I was at the Dollar Tree and I picked up these glitter stickers. Really cute. If you don't have fabric that has the tiny, because it is a little difficult to find. Sometimes the fabric has designs, but they're just way too big and you need something smaller. And let's say you can't find a fabric that has something Christmassy on it and you want it to be smaller. Glitter stickers, guys. Let's open one up so I can show you. There's a couple options that you can do. So this is probably like if you don't want to try to make something yourself, you don't have the fabric, and you're looking for a low budget option, this is something that you can do. So these are the glitter stickers here. And what I can show you can do is just, let's say we'll take this one out and I don't know, let's just pick a Christmas tree. I can kind of line this up and put the Christmas tree on here. Let me try to line it up. I'll try to be somewhat in the middle if I could. So I just added that glitter sticker to some background fabric. You know, and you've got heat and bond on the back of this one. So I would just go ahead and put a pressing cloth on top and then just go ahead and add this to your fabric. And you'll have a little dimensional type of thing because you'll have a little 3D effect from the sticker itself. Super easy, right? I mean, so cute. Yeah, how about a patchwork placement mat for a dinner guest? Absolutely, right? Little placemat here, and you can have all of these little designs with the little patches in between. I mean, So cute. So, so cute. You can even put a piece of fabric, right? Imagine this to be a longer piece of fabric and embroider their names on it, right? And then go with your pinking shears, put some heat and bond on the back, put some pinking shears and cut that out so they'll have their name all the way across going on the placemat with that pinking shear edge on the side. Wouldn't that be cute, right? So, so cute. So many different ideas, but this is definitely something that you can do here with the stickers. If you can't find any fabric, just get some stickers and put them on here. Now, I don't know about the washing. It's probably not going to hold on the wash or not, whatnot. You probably will have it coming off. But if you want, what you can do is then go in with your sewing machine and sew it down if you like, if you can find something that's similar to the color that's on the sticker, right? So you can try doing something like that. Another option for those of you who have a scan and cut, right? Oh, Faker may say, what about a stocking with patches? Yeah, why not, right? You could just make a patch with your embroidery machine if you want and put it on there. That's another option, right? You can personalize it that way. Very cute on a kitchen apron. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, just great ideas all around right now. If you guys have Etsy shops or if you have one of those craft fair things that are coming up and maybe you want to try to sell some stuff, or maybe you're just looking to sell some stuff at your local school, maybe the parents will buy it, making money, for the school, charity type work. These are great projects to do for that stuff. And it just doesn't take much, it doesn't use up a lot of fabric, right? And you can easily customize it anyway. And I think people would go crazy over it. They would really love that. So that's something that you can do. The stickers is another option. And there's all kinds of different ones, right? You've got bows and trees and snowflakes. And they've got all kinds of different colors. They've got little reindeers and trees as well. So I thought, some of those really, really cute. And of course, if you just want snowflakes, they've got tons of snowflakes. So, I get these and I pick them up. I just got, one each, just so I have, that's plenty for me. And I can make a ton of projects with just that. So you just have to pick out whatever your background fabric's going to be and then put the stickers on top. Really, really cool on that. Now, let's say you don't have a Dollar Tree next to you. And so you can't pick up the stickers, right? And you just can't find fabrics that are going to be small enough for you to be able to do your design with. Another option that you have, let's say if you have a scan and cut or even a Cricut machine, you would be able to do this with. Grab yourself some felt, right? Tons of felt out there. There's felts that are with glitter like this. You see the little shine here? Isn't that cute? You got that glittered felt that you could work with. And this one doesn't have any adhesive on the back. So you would still have to add some heat and bond or something to adhere it, right? Or if you're going to sew it, you can sew onto with the felt, right? You can do that. Or you can go into like Hobby Lobby and they have all kinds of felt, different colors with adhesive on the back, which is pretty cool. Oh, Cindy say, I was thinking on the Santa mail to change the verbiage to a grandchild from the North Pole and enclose a gift card. Yeah, that'd be really cute. I mean, if you have in Brilliance, instead of the child sending the letter to Santa, maybe Santa can send a letter to the child, right? And just change that around and give that to your child and say, Santa's watching you. And then in that letter, we can address those little concerns that we may have and just make sure that, the child's going to be behaving correctly, right? And just let her know or let him know that Santa's watching. So you can do all kinds of amazing messages or let them know how good of a boy or girl they are being and how much you appreciate them and love them, right? There's all kinds of messages that you can send through this. And that would be a cute way. So you can also, reverse it. Now, the embroidery itself says to Santa Claus, but if you got in Brilliance, you can change all of that, right? So you can change this up and make your own font here, do your own address, put their names on here if you want. Tons of stuff that you can do. So, you know, think out of the box when you're doing projects like this and who you're doing them for. So you can customize it for them, right? We always have to think out of the box here, right? Okay, so we have the felt that you can also use. And I picked this one up also at Hobby Lobby, and these are only 99 cents for the sheet, so not too bad. Oh, a warning letter from Santa. Yeah, I sound experienced. Yeah, definitely. You know, we need a Mr. H warning letter too. He needs to hurry up and get better and get back in this craft room, or else. How's that one? Okay. So we have the felt here, and it has an adhesive on the back here, but you can put these on your scan and cut. And so you can pick out your design, because the scan and cut has loads and loads of designs that are built into the machine. And you can do, you have the option, you know, when you are cutting your image from the scan and cut, you have different options. You can do outside only, inside, outside, and region, right? I would just do outside only, so you would get the cut, the image of the outside of that. So you could definitely do that. Marina says, I'd be afraid my husband would send me a Santa letter telling me to stop adding to my sewing addiction. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. We can't have that. Because then Santa would have to respond and let him know that the sewing room needs more fabric. All gifted crafters should have some great ideas. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, Lisa. So guys, when you're doing this and you grab this felt, you know, you're going to want to do probably a half cut, because you have the adhesive on the back. Well, I guess you could do a full cut as well. But then go ahead and do outside only to get the image. So let's say you're cutting out, let's say the bow. I would do the outside image of the bow, right? And then that would come out. Or if you're doing the tree, I'll bring it over on this side. So let's say you found an image of a tree on the scan and cut. You would just do the outside only over here, and you would end up with this image of the tree. Now, same thing with like a snowflake, you know, or something like that. If you have something that has cuts on the inside and outside, then you would have to choose that option on here to get it cut out correctly. But there's tons of built-in images inside the scan and cut that you can use, and Cricut as well. Tons and tons and tons of images out there that you can use, and you can use those machines to cut them out with the felt. And if it doesn't have the adhesive backing on the back, just put some heat and bond on it, and then go ahead and pick a background to add that image, and then go ahead and do that pink edges with your pinking shears. Or you can have the scan and cut do that for you and just cut it out with the pinch edge. Let's see. Lisa Lily says, Santa would not ever stop at the crafters for having too much fabric. Yeah, we are part of his helping elf team. Absolutely. Absolutely we are. So definitely this is another option that you have, is to use felt, right? And then go ahead and just put it on that background, or you can use the fabric and you can get those going. So now I had quite a few here, and like I said, just taking this background fabric with your pinking shears, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. Let's cut it about here. I think that looks good. And then I just make sure that, you know, it looks like a stamp. And this elf one is actually perfect because it's got these nice and squared. So it's perfect, perfect size for you to be able to do this project. And one last cut. And it's just a perfect stamp. I'm going to cut this white part out and the bottom, make it even shorter. Nope. Well, I left a little piece, but that's fine. There you go. You know, you've got these little stamps that you can make, and you can put them on a background fabric and they'll look gorgeous, you know, nice little stamps. Another thing that you can do, if you have a printer and you have some images of some family members, maybe some family members that have passed on. Nancy, do you have the scan and cut? Yes, I do. I do have a scan and cut. Don't have it with me in this room. It's on the cart, but I would have to roll it in here. Can't do that right now. But yes, I do have the scan and cut, and I love that thing. Love, love, love it. But another option for you, if you have a picture of someone maybe who has passed on, or maybe pictures of little kids or things like that, first Christmas, things like that, you can print their image onto fabric, right? And then you can turn it into an ornament, right? So go ahead and grab that picture, print that onto fabric, right? So you can always do that. Let me see. No, I don't have it with me right now, but I did do a little bit of dabbling on that. If you check some of my videos out, we actually printed out a couple of pictures on fabric, and we went into all the details on how to do that, and we kind of did one. That was a lot of fun, but you can get the picture of a little girl, little boy, a family member, whoever it is, and you can make ornaments out of them, right? So we have their image on here, cut them out in a circle with some pinking shears, and then put it on some background fabric. Really, really cute. You can make ornaments, so as the kids kind of grow up, you can see them in different stages all over your tree. Wouldn't that be cute? You know, every year, you know, we've got those school pictures that they take for every grade, right? And so you can get those printed onto your fabric, just scan them and print them on your fabrics. Wouldn't that be just precious? You can get pictures of all kinds of gifts and things that they get, you know, just special moments for you to put that onto your fabric, and then cut them out and then put them on a background fabric, and you have like an instant ornament right there for your tree. Super cute. Or you can put the images on actual projects, like if you're going to make a little gift baskets or placemats or things like that. Wouldn't it be cute if everyone had their own little placemat with their little picture on it, right? And then little stamps all over the place. That would be really adorable. Or places that you have visited. I know anyone who's traveling a lot maybe has their favorite place that they traveled to. They can put a picture there and then do some travel stamps all the way around. So, so cute. You know, I would really love to make one with my dad on there and give it to my mom. That would be really nice that she can put on her tree, right? So I think that's a really nice one. Another thing that I will be doing is some memory ornaments. I got a couple of designs from Designs by Juju, and I wanted to kind of stitch those out. So we could probably do those together later this week as well. But we also have to get back to our post Santa. I've got to get going and start cutting the fabric out on this. So haven't started on this just yet, and I know you guys, some of you were asking to get this done, so we definitely will be doing this. I've got to start cutting out my fabrics and getting just the steps that we've already covered for these. I'm just going to go ahead and get to that, and then we'll kind of get to the more challenging steps on these. So remember, I mean, it's the holidays, and we've got all this creative juices flowing everywhere, and all of us are like really, really super busy. So it's really hard to kind of get all of these things done. But like I've been saying for a while, you had to get started early because all of this stuff takes time to do. And you want to have something that you're happy and proud of and can show and share with people. Alrighty, guys, we are already at the end of our hour. I think this hour just goes by way too fast. Let's go ahead and go over to our inspirational quote of the day. Okay, so today's quote of the day is, "Every project becomes more alive when the crafter's creativity is allowed to shine freely." And that's exactly what I want you guys to do. Be as creative as possible with all kinds of different projects, and think out of the box on how you can get things done and change things up. all kinds of little postage stamps and fun things that you can do. Just look around your craft room and try to use what you have in your room. Look at your space. I'm sure there's things in there. Okay, so everyone, I want to say a happy Veterans Day to all of you, and thank you all for your service. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space